When the communists came into power in China, one of the things they wanted to do is they wanted to suppress religion, especially Christianity. And at one point, they came into this village, and they took the priest, and they locked him in the house next to the church. And all he could do, and then they went into the church, and they just destroyed the place. They ransacked the place. They turned over pews, and they ripped the Bible, and they did all this stuff. And he's sitting there at the window, looking out of his rectory, looking at them destroying this church. And at one point, these soldiers, they took the tabernacle, and they threw it out the window, and it crashed through the window, hit the ground, and exploded open, and the Eucharist just fell scattered on the ground. And all the priest could do, because he was under house arrest, he could just stand there and adore. He could just stand there and keep watch with Jesus, because he couldn't do anything else. And he stood there and he prayed as the Eucharist was on the ground, and Jesus' body was on the ground. This body that was given for him was on the ground. And as night fell, he saw this shadow getting closer and closer, darting from, shadow to shadow. And as he got closer, he recognized this was a 12-year-old girl from his parish. And she had seen what the soldiers had done as well. And she had seen the Eucharist on the ground. And so she waited till night fell, and she snuck to the Eucharist on the ground. She came up to the Eucharist, and she knelt down. And she was taught, as a kid, she was taught not to touch the Eucharist with your hands. And so she knelt down, and she bent her face to the ground. She picked up the Eucharist off the ground with her tongue. She stood up, made the sign of the cross. She was taught also you only receive communion once, and so she got up, and then she snuck away into the night. And the priest knew exactly how many consecrated hosts, how many hosts of the body of Christ were there. And night after night, this girl kept coming back. She'd sneak in, she'd kneel down, and she'd receive the Eucharist off the ground, make the sign of the cross, get up and walk away, run away into the night until the last night. He knew it was the last time, and he knew that after this, she'd be safe. After this, she wouldn't have to keep coming back and risking her life. And he saw, and he was praying as she came closer and closer, and she knelt down, and she received Jesus off the ground with her tongue, made the sign of the cross. But as she got up, she knocked something over and made a noise, and these two soldiers rushed to where she was. They saw what she was doing, and they beat this 12-year-old girl to death with the butts of their rifles.